When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
Greetings Multiverse, and we're just back from our viewing of Joker, the latest DC movie, and it was fantastic. I know you all wanted to hear my review of it. Well, there you go, it's fantastic, you can go home now. To go a little bit more in depth, the story, as you probably get from the trailers, is about the Joker's origin, or at least a version of the Joker, Arthur Fleck, as played by Joaquin Phoenix. The story is superb. It is very, very well told. It kept me fully captivated for the entire time. In some cases, too much. You know, in some movies, like pretty much every movie ever made, there are some scenes which are just talky or important to the plot, but just a bit slower in general. Every movie has them. This movie doesn't. It has slower moments, but no single moment in the movie is unimportant. I needed to pee for a good hour, and I could not find a single moment to leave the theatre. It was all just too great, too plot important, or important to Arthur Fleck's development, or just too great in general. There are some twists in the story which you will see coming, but which are nonetheless superb, and there are others that will just totally blow you away. And just to confirm, this is a tragic origin story for the Joker, and no point do you want to be him. You really feel sorry for him and feel that the system has failed him. There's plenty of commentary on how the system treats mental health patients, but this is Gotham in the 1980s. There's no place like it on Earth. Yes, it is a period set film, which took me a while to actually notice. I didn't even notice that in the trailers. But it sort of adds to the otherworldliness and has the same sort of out-of-time value as Batman the Animated Series does. It is really cool in that regard. It also means that the characters are smoking at all times, even in hospitals, and it's quite amusing in that regard. One thing that's not amusing is Joaquin Phoenix laughing. His laugh is deeply sinister. It's a result of a mental condition, which they explain, and it is very clever the way they do that. He just laughs randomly, and it is quite sinister at all times, or quite sad, or heartbreaking. But how comic-booky is it? That was one of my biggest concerns, especially with some quotes from director Todd Phillips, saying that they were just making a normal movie and slapped Joker on it to sell it to studios. He is joking. I want to make that very clear. Now that I have seen the movie, it is very obvious that this is a Batman movie. It's Gotham City, it's Arkham Asylum, and I don't want to spoil too much, but this is the Joker. Do you think you'll end up with a character you know too much about? Do you think you don't need to know the Joker's origin story? Do you think you don't need to know the Joker's identity? Well, go watch the movie. You'll see exactly what I mean. This is a Batman story. It's also an extremely powerful story. I loved every moment of it. It really got to me in parts. You really do feel sorry for Arthur, especially at a few key moments. But there are so many great moments in this movie, it's hard to pick any out, and I wouldn't want to spoil any of them anyway. There's no part of this movie I would change. The only thing I want to call attention to is if you think you're going to get a lot of the Joker in this movie, you won't. You won't see him battling with Batman, you won't see him poisoning the reservoir, you won't see him doing any insane schemes once he becomes the Joker. He will do some great stuff, but don't expect this to be full-on Joker at the end of the movie. This is a Joker origin story, and while you'll see him for a decent amount of time in the costume, he is still pretty much Arthur Fleck as that Joker. He has not completely become the clown prince of crime by the end, and that is fine. I was totally fine with that. It does leave the door open for a sequel somewhat, but if this is just a single standalone movie, it works very well. I loved every moment of it, as I said, and I would gladly go see it again. It is a pure DC movie. It feels like a really great DC movie that got mixed up with a really great movie at the same time, which reminds me of Batman Begins and The Dark Knight in that way, or Batman Arkham Asylum. That's a great game as well as a great Batman game. This is a great movie as well as a great Joker movie. And I can't think of a higher endorsement. Definitely go see it. And I will gladly see it again, and I will love it again. I actually cannot wait to see it again. But have you guys seen the movie? Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. Do you think it was great as I did? Do you think it had some problems? Do you think it wasn't much of a Batman story? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to DC Comics Gamer for everything on the worlds of DC. And if you really want to help me out, I have a Patreon, which you can find the link to at the top of the screen. For just a single $1 a month kicked my way, I can do more videos and get more out. I've got some exciting stuff planned, and I could really do with your help to do it. Thanks for watching, folks. Multiverse
Just a joke to you?